5 first-round picks. 5 first-round picks minimum. That's what I want for Chris Boucher, because all signs point to him getting traded ahead of this year's trade deadline. But if I'm Masai Ujiri, the way Chris Boucher's playing, you gotta leverage this. Forget Bruce Brown, and we'll talk about his performances and stuff like that, but Chris Boucher. Yes, this season's been an absolute mess. It's been just a dumpster fire by design. We're tanking, we're losing games, we're doing this type of stuff. But every single win that we get, nights like this, it feels so sweet. And Chris Boucher, if this is one of his last games as a Toronto Raptor, if he does end up getting dealt in the coming weeks, which it seems like he will, I want 5 picks, 6 picks, swaps. I want a young superstar. I want it all. And frankly, it wouldn't be enough. It wouldn't be enough. I don't care about timelines. I don't care about all that type of stuff. Chris Boucher, I want 5 first-round picks. Because tonight, every night that he's been playing, when he gets opportunities, the fact that he has been in and out of the lineup has been criminal. I've been saying, I get why that's been the case and all that type of stuff. You have to showcase other forwards. You have to do all this stuff. Young guys, minutes, yada, yada, yada. And, jokes aside, of course, Chris Boucher doesn't really match up with the young timeline. He has been inconsistent, but the highs are just so sweet. He brings the effort every single night. And frankly, a lot of Toronto Raptors players, when they leave the team, when they're out of the mix, when they're off the squad, right, they end up leaving with a sour taste in the mouths of Raptors fans. You can look back to some guys like, Fred VanVleet. You could look back to some players that have been on the roster, especially some role players. They just aren't performing up to stuff. Chris Boucher, if he is dealt, this man needs to be regarded. He's proven why Raptors fans we all need to just cherish these moments, because Chris Boucher, since he's been on the team, since he was out here on these rosters, coming in the last 2 minutes and then hoisting up every shot he could, knocking down threes. Riker and I will always be reacting. Chris Boucher doesn't miss in those garbage time minutes. Chris Boucher earned his spot with this Toronto Raptors team, ended up being a productive role player, and night in, night out, just finds a way to leave an impact out there on the game. Even if he's not hitting shots, he's not doing things, he finds a way to hustle. And I just love this, man. I love Chris Boucher. I'm hyped right now. 5 first-round picks minimum. And even the stats, you might be like, Ben, what are you talking about? You watch this game. You feel the impact. You feel what's going on. 18 points for Chris Boucher tonight. 7 boards, 2 assists. Almost had just a wild, quarter game. I don't know, it would have been game winner, but game dagger shot at the end there. 3 of 5 from the 3-point line. And, the start of the game, got some run, did some things, but of course, it was really second half where he just was on an absolute tear. I mean, the Toronto Raptors got the win in this one. The Warriors are absolutely cooked, 101 to 104. But man, I just wanna give praise, give flowers, give whatever the heck I can give to Chris Boucher, because he's been just such a fun guy to have on the roster for a very long time. He's the last remaining piece on this Toronto Raptors championship winning squad, and it's been such a weird, especially past couple years where the Raptors have been bad. He hasn't been in the rotation consistently, and of course this season the squad is clearly looking to tank. And then you've guys like Mobo, Battle, that are young rookies that ideally should get minutes. Of course, Mobo and Battle have been with the G League and stuff in recent weeks, so that's not been players in the mix for minutes. But then at the forward spots, you have Brown, you have Ochai Baj, you have different guys that are going to need opportunities, going to need run. So Chris Boucher makes, again, team building sense, all that stuff, and for him, why he's going to get traded, but 5 firsts. 5 firsts, Masai. You can sell that. You're a master negotiator. Charles Barkley just called you, one of the best GMs. He is one of the best presidents, GMs. Everyone gets mad I say GM. It's the front office executive role. I just want to come out here and get hype for the Chris Boucher, for the Toronto Raptors in this game, because, again, you forget, because realistically, right, it makes sense if the Raptors are loose. I'm not worried about wins or losses, but fun wins, fun W's, they're just so sweet. And the Raptors are, with this win, end up moving, I guess, going down in the take-a-thon standings. The Charlotte Hornets have been horrible as of late. They have been, not living up to expectations lately, so, that is what it is for the people rooting for the takes and stuff, but we're not worried about that whatsoever. It's still January. This stuff is too messy to be dialing with right now. We're not at the trade deadline. We gotta give hype and give some praise, give the flowers to Chris Boucher, because I'm just feeling good after that win, feeling good with everything that's going on there right now. So shout out to Chris Boucher, but it wasn't just him in tonight's outing and tonight's game that had solid performances. Of course, no one crazy jumped off the box score stat line, but Scottie Barnes, especially, the first half, especially, the first 3 quarters, had very strong performance in this one. 23 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals for Scottie Barnes. Just a solid game, plus 12 for this one. 40 minutes, really had an impact on this game. So shout out to Scottie Barnes. Poeltl had a solid 113-13, doing his thing out there at the two-way spot. Again, plus minus, you can see very, very solid stuff there from those two guys. RJ Barrett, not the craziest of games. A few extra turnovers, 15 points. You might look at this box score and say, RJ Barrett was horrible. I don't think he's as bad as the box score is indicating, but usually RJ Barrett at home is a monster unleashed. And, tonight wasn't that at a crazy level. Ochai Agbaji had a very solid game in this one, 12 points, 5 of 8 shooting, 3 rebounds. Did his thing out there. Played some solid defense out there on, especially at the end on Steph Curry, doing some things. I mean, Curry, only 26 points, had a solid game, knocked down his shots and stuff. But the Toronto Raptors, right? Sure, the Warriors are depleted. The Warriors are just a cooked team right now in general. Like, this team is at a rough shape, a rough spot. But those are the guys that really played solid. Gradey Dick didn't have a bad game by any means either, but, hasn't been, on the tears that he was in early on in the season. Jamal Shead as well. Davion Mitchell got the start in this game, and of course, he's been out of the rotation for stretches, over the course of this year, with Immanuel Quickley out with the hip issue, hip soreness, I believe it was. So, Shead, Davion Mitchell, get more opportunities, get more minutes. Seeing 0-point game from Davion Mitchell, you might be like, oh, that guy is trash, that guy is cooked. And of course, you have a 0-point game. It's not your best outing, it's not your best performance, but I did think he played some solid defense, did have some fouls and stuff, did have 6 assists. Davion Mitchell does impact the game in a lot of ways that don't get recognized through the box score, so through some clear outings, but of course, you want him to be able to hit shots, you want him to be somewhat of a scoring threat. Shead does all those little things as well, and he's been knocking down shots lately. Like, Jamal Shead, I said, coming into this year, I really, really like his upside. I like his potential, but he has to become a consistent shooter. He's too small in the NBA to not have a jump shot. Of course, there have been players that have done it in the past. Your Rajon Rondos of the world, and Shead is a great defender, great leader, great all of those, every intangible. But when you're, 6-foot-ish guard, you got to be able to knock down the three. And Shead has been knocking down his threes. He's right. We're rocking out here. The Shead heads. We're out here pretty excited with Jamal Shead's, especially 3-point shooting improvements. So that's been a huge positive. He just plays with a ton of confidence, which is great to see. Whether he's taking pull-up middies, whether he's taking 3-point shots, and regardless of how consistency he is, regardless of how the percentages are going, Jamal Shead has been a nice sort of guy out there on this group. But of course, the elephant in the room, so to speak, and Bruce Brown didn't, plus minus, he had an impact on the game the other ways, but 0 points for Bruce Brown. I'm not worried about Bruce Brown just falling off a cliff and stuff. He's an impact guy, but the issue with Bruce Brown having these poor games, and we're talking trade value of the titles, I think is going to be something memes, but Chris Boucher's up in the trade value. Bruce Brown having 0-point games. People will watch and be like, oh, he's moving decently out there or whatever, but if he's having 0-point stinkers, that's he had a good game against the Detroit Pistons, but if he's having games like this, just the averages are going to go down. It just sucks. So that's not something you like to see. But I don't know. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling hyped. Any win we get, of course, this is the difference between us getting Cooper Flag or whatever. I can't lie to you folks. I've been going to sleep watching some Cooper Flag highlights. So it's I'm buying into I'm getting the Cooper Flag fever, whatever you want to call it. I'm feeling the urge, the itch to get Cooper Flag on this roster, but it is what it is. It's you got to take these wins. You got to be happy about this stuff, and we got to have some good things over the course of the season. And tonight was very much a good thing for the Toronto Raptors. So let me know what you guys think about this Raptors win, about this Raptors W, how cooked the Golden State Warriors are. It's, if you played this game in 2019 when the Raptors in that finals, I mean, it's just watching this one, it's like, man, that's I miss those games. I do miss those games that were super competitive. Great, Drake was out here on the court. We had also a kid having to take off his Curry jersey and put on a Raptors one. It's pretty jokes. It's pretty views. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I've signed it out. Cheers.